Kachin is a good-for-nothing useless orphan boy who gets a divine weapon and awakens his god powers. 100 years ago, the demon king, Wo-sun, led an army of monsters to attack the realm of the gods. The god of war, Shu-tian, who's the guardian of the Western Temple, fights alone against the whole demon army and kicks a bunch of demon butts. But just when things start looking good for the gods, the celestial demon betrays and stabs Shu-tian in the back. His spirit breaks into 72 pieces and scatters all over the mortal world. With Shu-tian gone, the demons took control of the war. As a result, the god Shijia decides to seal both gods and demons in the void realm using all his power, which means the gods lose their Buddhist protection. This messes things up in the 6 realms and makes people suffer. To fix this, they need Shu-tian's power to break the seal and save the gods, bringing back Buddhism. In the present, in a desert, there's a little house shaking from the strong winds. Inside, there are 2 brothers, Gen and Kachin. Gen, the older one, tells Kachin to shut up because their father will protect them. The wind gets worse, and Gen puts his deadweight brother in a basket. They rush out of the cabin right before it falls because of a landslide. Outside, we see their father with a staff fighting a demon armed with a chain and a big rock. They're going at it hard, but the demon smacks the man, sending him flying into a rock. Gen shows up with his 2 pathetic 2 wooden swords to help his father, but the demon tries to hit him. Their father acts fast, blocking the demon's attack with his staff. He scolds his stupid son for not going to the cave, like he was supposed to, and skillfully uses his staff to toss his 2 boys to safety on a nearby mountain. The father keeps fighting the demon, turning his staff into nunchakus, and wrapping the demon's arm with them. He knocks the demon off balance, knees its face, and tries to strangle it with the chains. The demon is strong and breaks free, sending the shattered chains flying. The father kicks the pieces of his broken weapon and turns them into projectiles. With an incantation, he surrounds the demon with these shards and recites a mantra to seal the demon. A mysterious electrical energy comes from the pieces of the broken weapon and holds the demon's arms and neck. Then, the mountains around them turn into giant fingers and trap the demon under a pile of rocks. After all the action, the father meets up with his useless kids. He tells them they must run because the seal can only keep that demon locked up for a little bit. Gen is confused, so his father explains that the demon they're dealing with is called Asura, and it's a demon that goes after demon hunters. They go to a place that looks like a giant tree with paths made from its branches. His father jumps down and tells them to follow. When they get to a weird cave that's like an underground temple, his father unlocks some special seal, and a door opens. Then, some roots move away, and they find 2 swords stuck in a monument. The father asks Gen to hold one of the swords while the father holds the other, as they both touch them. The swords turn all shiny and golden. They take the swords out, and a little golden box comes up from the ground. The father says this box is super important. He explains that it's meant for his little useless brother when he grows up, so Gen should give it to the brother then. His father then gives him the other sword and says these are special demon hunter swords that have been handed down for generations. Gen feels like he doesn't deserve it yet. His father tells him that he's still trash, but he's been learning about swords since he was little. If he doesn't become a great demon hunter, the father will beat him in the afterlife. Suddenly, there's a big shake, and they figure out that the demon got loose from its seal. The losers dash through a tunnel, and there are some symbols lighting up on the walls. Their father says these symbols are like magic shields to keep demons out. They get to a bridge over a lake of lava, and their father tells them it's the spirit house for demon hunters. Gen asks if those barrier charms can stop the demon Asura, but his father says they can't stop it, just keep it trapped. Gen's kind of confused, but then the demon smashes through the ceiling and slams his father to the ground. The father uses his magic and shoots these glowing lights at the demon, distracting it. Then, he does another spell that traps the demon in a light sphere, and it falls into the lava. The kids are scared for their father, but when the smoke clears, he's okay. They hear a bell and a lady's hand goes right through their father's chest, which really freaks them out. The father is all confused about how that demon got through the barrier, and she tells him she was already here, but he couldn't see her. He falls to his knees due to the injury. When he sees his pathetic kids, he decides to save them with his last bit of strength. He tells Gen to protect his brother, and he casts a big spell. It makes a light shield around the kids. The demon doesn't want them to get away, so she attacks the shield and scratches Gen's cheek, but she can't hurt them, and the spell teleports them to safety. Their father is happy he saved them and tells them to save the world. A few years later, we find Gen chilling on a tree branch, waiting for Kachin, who's trying to put on a lizard costume. Meanwhile, there are 2 guys, an old scared man, and a young monk going into a haunted house. The old man asks the monk for help to get rid of a demon in the house. The monk sprinkles some weird magic powder and sees lizard footprints on the wall. He figures out it's a super old gecko demon and tells the old guy to run away. But when he tries to exorcise the demon, a voice in the shadows starts laughing and asks why he's pretending. The monk isn't having it and starts chanting and tossing his prayer beads at the demon. The demon gecko shows up, and the monk accidentally beheads it with his staff, which wasn't supposed to happen. The headless lizard starts talking, freaking the pathetic monk out. He backs up and bumps into Zhen, who knocks him out with one punch. When the stupid monk wakes up, he finds both brothers standing in front of him, and he's tied to a pillar. They show him the lizard costume and the man tries to act grateful for them taking down the demon. But Zhen warns him to spill the truth or face some consequences. The monk confesses that he faked being a demon hunter and teamed up with the lizard demon to make lots of money. They tricked the people in the village, did fake exorcisms, and split the cash. After this confession, he says his whole scam relies on looks. He says he's so good looking that people would believe anything he said. They would even believe if he claimed to be Buddha. But Zhen will be seen as a pathetic bandit and not a demon hunter. Zhen doesn't like that comment and makes him eat his words. Later, we see the monk wearing the lizard costume's head, with a reptile tail belonging to the demon gecko, wiggling on the ground. In the morning, the brothers have a special ceremony to make Kachin a man since he's turned 14. Zhen sprinkles golden powder on him and activates talismans to give Kachin the power to fight evil, officially making him a demon hunter. Zhen asks how Kachin feels, but he says he doesn't feel worthy of the title and power. His brother encourages him and gives him the box their dad left. Kachin opens it and finds a small metal rod with engravings on the end. He's a bit disappointed, but Zhen doesn't know what it's for either, only that their dad said it was Kachin's destiny. Still, Kachin appreciates it as a gift from their father. Out of the blue, an old guy comes running, desperately needing demon hunters. He says his town's in trouble because there's this weird mist that makes people vanish. Folks think it's a demon cat causing the problem, and he's got a bag of coins to beg for their help. When Kachin asks Zhen if they should take the job, Zhen thinks it might be another trick. Plus, they haven't sorted out the important stuff about Kachin's coming-of-age ceremony, like finding him a master to teach him how to be a man. As they walk away, Zhen bumps into the old guy, and the bag of coins spills, making a little bell roll out. Zhen remembers that the lady demon who deleted their dad had that bell. Zhen grabs the old man's arm and asks where the bell came from. Then they head to the village, and at the entrance, there's this thick fog. The old man says people who go in vanish, but the brothers don't care and go in anyway. The deeper they go, the harder it is to see because of the fog. Kachin complains, but Zhen says it means they're close to their target. But then he looks back, and Kachin's gone. A girl's voice asks Zhen who he's searching for. He tells her to spill the beans about the bell's origin, promising not to hurt her if she leaves the town. But instead, she attacks him like crazy, and he dodges it all. She turns out to be a cat girl demon and tries to scratch him, getting his back. Zhen gets serious and starts a spinning attack that clears the fog and knocks her down. She's scared and says she was just hunting for food, and the missing people got lost, not hurt. After trying to trick Zhen by seducing him, Zhen asks the demon if she knows where the bell came from. She claims to have found it by chance and has no idea where it came from. Zhen decides to let her go, but she takes advantage of his kindness and launches a surprise attack from behind. However, Zhen sees through her plan and quickly slashes her with his sword. The demon girl starts fading away and warns Zhen that her brother will avenge her by killing Kachin, leaving Zhen worried. On the other hand, Kachin faces a male cat demon who sends him flying with an attack. The demon is disappointed, thinking that demon hunters would be stronger, but instead, he finds only a mere stupid and weak child. Kachin gets furious when he hears this and grabs a stick from the ground to challenge the demon. Zhen watches from a water tower, seeing this as Kachin's final test before graduating. The cat demon launches several attacks, but Kachin blocks them with his improvised rod. The demon tells him it's pointless to fight because his sister has probably deleted Zhen. Kachin knows his brother is also a loser, but he won't be defeated. He manages to land a couple of attacks on the demon, making it angry. The demon increases its speed, delivers a few cuts, and breaks Kachin's stick. Zhen gets ready to intervene, but Kachin notices the useless object his father gave him. It glows, elongates, and turns into a golden staff, awakening his true powers. He uses it like a spear to impale the demon. The staff sends out a magical wave throughout the universe, catching the attention of various individuals familiar with the legend of the god of war. The cat demon is still alive even though he got hurt badly. Kachin is hurt too, but he's unconscious and doesn't know what's happening. The cat demon is scared that Kachin will hurt him when he wakes up, so he tries to pull the staff from his chest. But then Jen comes to help. Jen has his swords out and wants to know where the bell came from. The cat demon doesn't want to tell, so Jen threatens to hurt him unless he spills the beans. Jen makes the bell ring a little, and it scares the cat demon. Suddenly, the cat demon starts talking and says a lady demon gave him the bell. She told him that when the bell rang, 2 brothers would appear. After the cat demon hears the bell sound again, he goes into a trance. Jen uses this opportunity to ask the cat demon who the demon lady is, but the cat demon says demons can't know her identity. The cat demon says he was told to delete demon hunters and get the spirit fragments. When the cat demon finishes telling the truth, the bell goes crazy and flies into his mouth, making him blow up. Jen tries to protect Kachin from getting hurt in the explosion. While all of this is happening, 2 celestials watch from a screen. There's a young man and a young girl. The girl immediately turns her arm into a cannon, and they teleport away from their huge spaceship to the Earth realm. When Kachin wakes up, Jen tells him he did a pathetic job in the fight and then tells him to get his new evolved weapon. While Kachin goes to get it, Jen thinks about what the cat demon said about the spirit fragments. He doesn't know what it is, but he's curious about how it's connected to their father's killer. As Kachin picks up the staff, it returns to its original tiny size. He shows it to Jen, who just laughs because they don't know how to make it bigger like before. But their moment is interrupted by the 2 celestials from earlier. They notice the girl wearing a pig mask. The girl asks her companion about the chances of the staff being what they're looking for. Through his screen, he analyzes the brothers and the small staff in Kachin's hands, confirming it's what they're looking for, so they approach the brothers. Jen, though badly injured from the previous explosion, tries to defend his brother but can't. Kachin attempts to introduce themselves, saying they're demon hunters hired by the village chief to eliminate the demons in the village. The girl then commands Kachin to give them the staff he's holding. Seeing the stranger's intentions, Jen says that if they want the staff, they'll have to go through him. He quickly attacks the girl with his sword, but she manages to knock him down by hitting him with her cannon. Kachin rushes to his brother to check on him, and the girl threatens to shoot them if they don't hand over the staff. The 2 brothers are not scared at all. Jen starts arguing with the girl, calling her a pig head, which makes her very mad. But the young man steps in and stops the fight. He says they don't want to hurt anyone and uses a spell from his screen pad to heal Jen's wounds. With Jen feeling better, he asks who they are and why they want to steal his brother's staff. The girl explains that the staff, known as Shenzhen Iron, has always belonged to them. It was the weapon of the god of war, Shu Tian, who was the toughest warrior among the gods. The strangers introduce themselves as celestial messengers from the fairy clan. The boy is Sha Lu, and the girl is Xiao Ba. When she takes off her mask, the brothers tell her how cute she is, and she blushes. They ask the weirdos to explain more about what's going on. Sha tells them the story of the fall of the god of war and the legend that they need to find 72 pieces of his spirit to unlock the seal of the void realm and release the gods. The divine staff is the key because it can sense the spirit fragments. Jen thinks this might be connected to what the cat demon told him, and he hopes that by getting these spirit fragments, they can find their father's killer. So, he doesn't want his brother to give them the staff. Jen tries to learn more about the strangers' plans and asks them how they're so sure this is the divine staff. Sha explains that the celestial book says the divine staff is one of the weapons made by the god of creation. When it awakens, it gives off a strong energy that can spread through the 6 realms, and that's how they found it. This surprises Kachin, and Sha says it's not just the gods sealed in the Void Realm. The Demon King Wo Sun and his demon army are there too. The followers of the Demon King can feel the energy too. Jen is still unsure if they can trust these weirdos, with the world being chaotic and dangerous. He tells them that no one can be trusted these days. This makes Xiao Ba mad, and she points her weapon at them, saying they're determined to take the staff, whether Jen believes them or not. But her friend stops her. Xiao Ba continues, saying that if they can't revive the god of war and open the seal of the gods, the world will stay in chaos. If the demons get to it first and unleash the demon army, it'll be the end of the world. Kachin asks if giving her the staff will save the world, and she promises that if they find all the fragments and revive the god of war, peace will return to the 6 realms. So, Kachin trusts her and hands over the staff. Xiao Ba transforms her cannon back to her arm, showing there's no more threat, and says it's a promise. Kachin feels sad to give away the staff, which was their father's gift. But Jen reassures him, saying their father would support his choice. Jen thinks giving up the divine staff means losing the trail of the demon lady, but he doesn't want his brother in danger. He suggests they go see the village chief for their reward and a party for Kachin. As they're about to leave, Xiao Ba is angry because the staff is fake. Katchen takes it back from her, and it turns into a golden staff again. This surprises her because it turns to iron whenever she holds it. Shaw explains that the staff has been asleep for 100 years, and only someone with a pure heart can awaken it. In short, she belongs to the streets. It seems to have chosen Katchen as its new owner. The pathetic Xiao Ba then declares that the brothers will go with them, since, if the staff picks an owner, no one else can use it unless the original owner is no more. Jen is thrilled that it seems like fate is on their side, and that's how their journey starts with the two celestial beings. After they get their reward for saving the village, they all hop on a ship summoned by Shaw, which completely amazes the brothers when they see it. On the ship, the two brothers are feasting and eating all the meat they are given. This makes our stupid Xiao Ba mad because they're eating like they haven't had food in years. Jen teases her, saying he'll get skinny like her if he doesn't eat. He continues teasing her by not letting her have the last piece of meat. But then, the ship's warning system tells them about an obstacle they need to avoid. The ship swerves to miss it and they almost hit a woman lying in the middle of the desert. Jen goes to check, and he sees a woman on the ground. When he gets closer, he sees she's really hurt and bleeding from her stomach. He gets ready to bring her on the ship, but Xiao Ba doesn't want some unknown person on board. Jen, being a demon hunter, can't leave an injured person behind. He even wonders if Xiao Ba is jealous because the lady has a better figure than her. This leaves Xiao Ba kind of speechless, and she asks if Jen doesn't find it strange that the lady is alone in the middle of the desert. They have a little argument, but they finally decide to help the woman. Later, the woman thanks them for their help, but Xiao Ba tells her that if she's fine, she should leave. As usual, Jen and Xiao Ba start arguing, while Katchen gives the woman a glass of water. Shaw asks her how she got hurt, and she tells them that she ran into bandits the previous day who tried to attack her. When she tried to escape, they stabbed her in the stomach. She hid until they left, and now she's scared to run into them again. Jen gets mad and wants to go kill the bandits right away, but Xiao Ba reminds him that if he leaves the ship, he can't come back, so he lets it go since the lady is safe now. The woman asks where they're going and if they could take her to the Dark Canyon. Jen says it's a big coincidence because they're going there to look for the God of War's spiritual fragments. She doesn't quite understand, so Katchen explains that they're searching for these fragments, although they're not sure what they look like. He shows her the divine staff and tells her how it sensed a fragment in the Dark Canyon. This gets her interested, but Xiao Ba quickly grabs Katchen's hands, telling him to hide the staff from the woman because it's not her business. Then, Shaw says it's late, and they should rest and head to the Dark Canyon in the morning. After the celestial beings leave, Jen asks the woman for her name, and she says it's Ziying. Later, the two brothers and Ziying are asleep in the same room. She wakes up and tries to use a web-like thread from a ring to grab the staff from Katchen's neck, but it falls onto Katchen's hair. He brushes off the web and it lands on Jen, who smiles but doesn't wake up. This alarms Ziying, who wonders what kind of dream they're having. Before she can try again, the door opens, and she pretends to be asleep as Shaw enters. The next morning, Jen and Katchen walked out of their room. Jen was all excited about a dream he had where he fought monsters, but Xiao Ba yelled at him to keep shut. That's when they noticed that their new friend Ziying wasn't with them. Jen asked where she was, and Shaw said she wasn't there when they woke up. Jen was worried that she might run into the bandits again and felt he should have gone with her. Katchen got even more scared because he realized he didn't have his divine staff. Meanwhile, Ziying had gone into a forest that led to the Dark Canyon. Going back a bit in time, she found herself in a cave surrounded by two demons and some bandits. Up on a throne at the end of some stairs, the demon boss sat with his right-hand man who is also a demon. Above them, Ziying's sister, Zai Yun, was hanging from the ceiling, and it seemed like the demons had kidnapped her. The second demon grabbed her sister's face and said that the celestial messengers had found the divine staff and were coming. They needed Ziying, who is the world's best thief, to steal the divine staff from the Celestials. Ziying's sister begged her not to do it, but Ziying thought the staff might just be a legend because no one had found it for 100 years. The demon boss corrected her and showed her a spirit fragment from the God of War, which sensed the staff awakening. He made some rocks float and the cave shakes to show the power of the spirit piece. He said the divine staff was the most powerful weapon ever, and if he got it along with the spirit fragment, he'd rule over all demons. Ziying was scared by the power and what would happen if she disobeyed him. She asked if they'd set her and her sister free when they got the staff. The leader just laughed, promising to give her sister back once he had the staff. Zai Yin begged her not to do it and reminded her about a promise never to steal again. This made Ziying think, but the demon next to her sister said they'd hurt her if she didn't go. That made Ziying angry, and she told the leader she'd bring him the staff, even if it meant she'd have to fight. Back in the present, Ziying held the divine staff close to her heart, ready to go save her sister from the dark canyon. Meanwhile, Zhen and Kachin find themselves in a bit of trouble as Zhao Ba is really upset with them for saving someone who turned out to be a liar. They even lost the divine staff, which makes her even angrier. Zhen says sorry for not realizing Ziying was a liar, but Zhao Ba keeps scolding them, saying that Zhen fell for her charm. Sha tries to make peace and asks everyone to stay calm, but Zhao Ba tells him to focus on driving the ship while she teaches the two brothers a lesson. After a while, Sha stops the ship, saying it smells like gunpowder and he needs some fresh air. He then mentions that he's found Ziying and the staff, which surprises everyone. As they continue their journey, Kachin asks where they're going. Sha answers that they're headed to a place called the Spiderweb Cave. He explains that it's tricky to navigate, just like spiderwebs, and it's easy to get lost there.